Hi, I'm Peter Travers, and this is Popcorn, where we tell you what's going on at the movies. And a major event right now is the film version of Cormac McCarthy's novel, The Road, starring Viggo Mortensen. It's a story about the end of the world, and Viggo will be with us in just a minute to tell us about it. But first, let's take a peek at The Road.
You call out, you're dead. Where are you from?
Doesn't matter. Where are you from?
Don't look at him.
That boy looks hungry. Why don't y'all come on the truck?
You look at him again, I'll shoot you in the head.
You ain't gonna shoot that thing. You ain't got but 2 shells. Maybe 1. Now here's a shot.
Maybe. But you won't.
You never killed a man in your life.
Viggo Mortensen, welcome to the show.
Good to see you again.
Great to have you here. I'm going to ask you right away about The Road, that people's perceptions of this. It's from Cormac McCarthy's novel. The world has ended. It's a father and son, basically, well, not totally alone, but on this road trying to get to someplace. And the perception people have is, geez, that sounds really depressing.
Yeah.
Are they wrong?
They're right and they're wrong. First of all, the world has not ended. You know, it's not over till it's over, between people and for the planet. I think that another perception is that, you know, the way people like to put movies in categories. This fits in, according to most people, into the post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic movie category. You sit back, you've got your popcorn, you watch half the country fall into the sea, and you watch famous monuments fall down and so forth. And you're watching a special effects movie, and it can be enjoyable, it can be well crafted, might even have some good acting in it. But the human story tends to be incidental. This is the opposite. This is a very human story, and you can't help but be taken along for a ride. You know, you'd have to be stone-hearted, whatever you technically think of the movie, of The Road.
Stop. I told you.
Stop
to
it.
not be moved, to not walk out of the theater feeling somewhat differently than you did walking in, which to me, that's why I like to go to the movies, because I want to be taken on a journey.
I don't want to just survive.
Cormac McCarthy, who wrote this book, did an interview recently, and there's a quote from him which I wonder if you apply to your own job as an actor, which was, no, I don't want to write short stories. If I can't take years of my life to doing something and want to commit suicide while I'm doing it, it's not worth doing. Is that how you approach what you're doing?
Well, I knew it would be a tough journey, you know, and it was. It was as difficult to make this movie and to go on the emotional journey, because there are no shortcuts. You have to go there, and you take the audience there in the right way if you do it. If you want to make a good adaptation, you know, a worthy adaptation of Cormac McCarthy's The Road, you're going to suffer in the making of it. And the audiences may suffer, or at least they may reflect on their own lives, mortality, their family, the state of the world, the environment, whatever, wherever it takes you, but it takes you on an emotional ride. But at the end, you have hope. You know, the interesting thing is that you kind of have to take everything away from people, even hope, it seems, to find out what hope is really about. What's the most important thing?
What about the world? You're talking about hope. Do you have hope for the world you live in?
I do. Yeah, I'm an optimist. I agree with that voiceover. It was the easiest line I ever read. If I were God, I would make the world just so and no different.
But
And
aren't there things that piss you off in this world?
yes, but that's
Come on, Viggo. That's
part of
the.
But that's the process. You know, you can. Some people do quit, and I don't blame them. Just like friends I know who are actors, who are really good actors. You know, after a while, then they're not getting enough work, and they do something else. I don't look down on them for that. I've been very lucky that I've been able to make a living for a long time at it.
Aren't you afraid of that a little? That we're losing forms of expression?
But it's, you know, it's optional. You know, that's what's beautiful about this story.
It's optional. It's
you have a choice. You can fight against that darkness and that sense of feeling defeated and hopeless. You know, in this story, these people find hope at the end when even hope seems to have been taken away. That's what I mean by it's never over till it's over. And yeah, I get down sometimes and I think, well, this business is so frustrating. You know, we were speaking before the interview, you and I, a little bit about movies like this need careful handling. They rely a lot on word of mouth. They don't always get a huge financial backing and a huge release. This movie was supposed to be released widely. It's not going to be released so widely, but maybe it'll reach people one by one through word of mouth. I know you've probably heard the words bleak, depressing, incredibly tough journey, but what you haven't heard, and what I'm telling you, is that you will feel strangely stronger, or at least more focused on the world, more grateful to be alive, valuing life more at the end of the experience of watching this movie. So that's what we rely on.
I think you do.
How would you know that? That you were the last man alive?
Well, I guess you know it. You just be it.
When you go through this movie, the experience of watching this movie, just as reading the book, you earn that conclusion, and it's very profound. It's not just, well, it's nice to be nice. It's nice to be kind. That's simplistic, but it isn't. Feeling when you watch the movie, you get to that conclusion
Well,
at the end.
it's not
It means
nice.
something.
Not nice for a father and son to try to be hopeful when there are cannibals, there are human beings not acting what we like to call human while this is happening.
Well, there's every reason to behave badly and defensively, you know. And in fact, which is another thing that's very beautiful, this transition in the story, the father who's trying to teach the boy what it means to be a quote-unquote good guy, which is a term that's used a lot in the movie, goes off the rails out of fear, out of paranoia, out of trying to protect his son. He starts behaving, as the boy points out, like one of the bad guys. You know, Dad, you told me to do this. You told me to be nice to people, to be kind, to not take their last possessions, to not be violent, and yet you're doing it. And I start to want to make excuses. Well, I say I'm scared, you know, and I need to protect you. And he stops himself because he realizes the boy is right. And there's that beautiful transition, you know, right towards the end of the story, where the boy essentially becomes the moral compass, where the child becomes the teacher, you know, and it's done really well. And it helps that Cody Smith-McPhee, who plays my son, is not only a really good actor, but he actually had a very mature understanding of the story and is himself a good guy.
To take a young actor like that and put him through what has to be done to do a grueling experience like this, I mean, it's a high wire act. You know, did you have that moment in the beginning where there was some caution
Trepidation.
about this? Yeah.
Well, first of all, the fear was, as you point out, how we can do you know, the same job that we did. You know, great set design, costumes, locations, shooting in real cold, wet, bleak environments to match the book. We can have a director, a cinematographer, all the actors can do their best. And we can have luck with the weather, which we did. It was crap weather the whole way, pretty much, which is what we needed.
Luck with the weather.
Yeah. Good, bad luck. But if the boy isn't on a level higher than you're used to seeing with child actors, you know, who's capable of delivering a profound performance every day under these difficult conditions, we're only going to get so far in terms of matching what the book is. But because of Cody, I think in large part, we match the book.
ABC News Now. Good to know.